السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه والتابعين وتابعيهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, today is the 28th of the month of Shawwal 1441, and this matches the 20th of June 2020. It's a Saturday, and every Saturday it is our time with the book Hadi al-Arwah, the Soul's Guide, by Al-Imam Ibn Al-Qayyim. The guide of the souls to the land of joys, and it is once again a detailed account and discussion and description of paradise. The last thing that we, or the last chapter that we dealt with, was about the fact that the paradise that Adam was in, the proofs that that paradise is actually the paradise that we know, the paradise of perpetuality, the paradise that the believers will go in after the day of judgment. After Judgment Day, the people who belong to the fire will go to the fire. The people who belong to paradise, they will go to paradise. Adam alayhi salatu wasalam was created, and he was in that paradise. And we mentioned last time the proofs of the scholars who said that the paradise that Adam was in is not just any paradise or any garden. Jannah, the word Jannah literally means garden, right? So it wasn't just any garden that is somewhere. It is actually the garden of perpetuality, which we use the word paradise for it. So that is the case. And they mentioned the different things. They mentioned the different proofs for that. From them is by nature. Naturally, we think that that paradise was the paradise that the people will go in for perpetuality, forever, after resurrection and after Judgment Day. That is the paradise that Adam was in. And I remind you in the beginning when we mentioned some lines of poetry from Al-Imam Ibn Al-Qayyim, he was saying, فَحَيَّ عَلَى جَنَّاتِ عَدْنٍ, come and come. He's inviting us to come. Like حَيَّ عَلَى الْفَلَاحِ, come to pray. حَيَّ عَلَى الصَّلَاةِ, come to success. حَيَّ عَلَى الْفَلَاحِ, come. حَيَّ عَلَى الصَّلَاةِ, come to prayer. حَيَّ عَلَى الْفَلَاحِ, come to success. That's what the caller says. حَيَّ, this is now you are calling the people to come, right? Some might mistake it for hayya, hayya, hayya bina, let's go, for instance, let's go, right? With a ha, that's not the same. Ha, it's a hayya. And some make the mistake hayyi in the adhan. It should be hayya ala salah, hayya ala al-falah. Here he says hayya ala jannati adnin. Come to the gardens of Eden, gardens of perpetuality. He says, فَإِنَّهَا مَنَازِلُكَ الْأُولَى وَفِيهَا الْمُخَيَّمُ. Because gardens of Eden, they are your first place, your first home. مَنَازِلُكَ الْأُولَى, the first place where you set foot. يعني Adam عليه الصلاة والسلام. وَفِيهَا الْمُخَيَّمُ. It is in there that you should dwell, you should stay in and reside, right? That's where you should be. So all of us, yani our parents, they came from there. That's why we have this nostalgia, haneen, We have this nostalgia to go back to the place where our parents have been kicked out of, right? Have been expelled from. So you want to go back there. So that's one of their proofs that everyone by nature he believes that Adam was there, right? And then he mentioned also the ayat and the ahadith, right? When you say Al Jannah, the garden, the paradise, and it is mentioned in Quran or in Hadith, then naturally your mind goes to that garden of perpetuality, right? And he different ayat and ahadith he mentioned there the fact that al Jannah, the definite article, the is used for paradise, the garden, right? So it talks about a specific garden that you already defined it in your mind. It's already there in your mind. You're not just talking about anyone, you're talking about the one that you are used to and that you are acquainted with, right? And so on and so forth. Now he mentions a chapter, chapter 4, that is a chapter which he mentions the proofs في سياق حجج الطائفة التي قالت, mentioning the proofs of the group that said ليست جنة الخلد, that it is not the garden Adam was in was is not the garden of perpetuality, وإنما هي جنة الأرض, rather it is the garden on earth, the garden of the earth. And he discusses their proofs. Then in the chapter 5 he mentions في جواب أرباب هذا القول لأصحاب القول الأول, after mentioning the proofs, that chapter 4, the proofs of those who say that garden that Adam was in, it was on earth, not garden of perpetuality. Then the next chapter, which is chapter 5, the same people now, they are replying, they are refuting the proofs that were mentioned by the first group. Like, it is a nature that Allah put in our hearts. How do they respond to that? And the other proofs that they mentioned, they respond to that also. Then chapter number 6, في جواب من زعم أنها جنة الخلد أنها جنة الخلد عما احتج به منازعوهم. Now he goes back to the first group, and how did they reply? How did they refute the proofs of those who are actually contending with them? Now I found, yani, if we go through the details of this, I believe it is not, and there is no need for us to go through those details. For that paradise is Jannatul Khuld, right? However, let us briefly go through some of the statements and some of the refutations so that at least we have an idea. For instance, they said that uh, the garden of perpetuality, paradise of perpetuality, you enter it only on the day of judgment. That's what the second group are saying. How could Adam be in it already? That's supposed to be a reward later on. They said, so you enter it after the day of judgment. They said also that that the one who enters it, he will not be expelled from it. وما هم منها بمخرجين, for instance, in the Quran describing paradise, they will not be expelled from it. The one who is in it, he will not be tried and he will not be tested. He will be just enjoying, and Adam was tested in it. Also, the one who goes into paradise, he will never disobey Allah, and Adam did disobey Allah in paradise. That paradise is not a home for fear or a home of sadness. right? لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون, right? And يعني things happened to our parents, things happened to our parents there, right? Um, يعني many things have happened to them, يعني a number of things happened to our parents in paradise. It is the house of peace, it is the house of stay, qarar, right? There is no tiredness in it, you don't sweat and toil. And Adam went through, يعني they were naked and their clothes يعني so they were became naked. So also there is no vain talk in it, لا لغو فيها. There is no unnecessary, no false speech in there. And Adam, he heard the lies of Iblis in it, right? So يعني Iblis did whisper his evil whisper to our parents, Adam and Eve. Also, it is mentioned about Adam that he slept in paradise. And paradise, there is no sleeping in it. يعني, and he mentions the hadith which Sheikh Al-Albani authenticates, that Rasulullah SAW was asked, أينام أهل الجنة? Do the people of paradise sleep? قال لا. He said no. النوم أخو الموت. Sleeping is the brother of death. ولا يموت أهل الجنة. And the people of paradise do not die. Right? So you do not sleep in paradise. No need for sleeping. You just enjoy and enjoy and enjoy and in continuous enjoyment. And your life there is a real life that is not diminished even by sleeping. Even by sleeping. And so many times you heard from me saying that if you sleep 8 hours a day and you live 60 years, then you have slept 1/3 of your life. 20 years is gone from your life. That's if you sleep 8 hours. If you sleep more than that, then Allah al-Musta'an. Hmm? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a perfect life. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. Neither sleep nor slumber takes over him. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Hayy, the one with the perfect life. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is mentioned then like that, that Adam slept in it, and يعني no sleeping in paradise. Also, that basically this is the, I think you got the idea, right? You got the idea, right? You got the idea of how they are talking, right? Allah Azza wa Jal informed Adam, they said that he has a lifespan that will finish, right? That he did not create him to live forever, right? There's a famous hadith in that, and I mentioned to you before, that he gave a part of his life to his son Dawood, and then he forgot and denied. نسي آدم فنسيت ذريته. Adam forgot, and therefore his progeny, his descendants, do forget. وجحد آدم فجحدت ذريته. Adam denied, and therefore his descendants denied. Right? So, يعني, if he was told already that how long he will live, how could Iblis lie to him and tell him, if you eat from this tree, then you will live forever, and the likes of that, right? Um, so this is how they are talking. This is how they are talking. And the fact that what Allah grants the people of paradise is عطاء غير مجذوذ. It is a giving that will never be severed, never cease and stop, right? And Adam went out of paradise. Then the next section is they replied to the proofs of the first group who said that يعني Adam was in paradise. They said the fact that you're saying that this is what Allah created the people upon, this is the instinctive, what they find the people, that's the innate, within the innate nature, that they believe that that paradise that Adam was in is actually the paradise that people will go in after the day of resurrection. They said that this is something we have to get it from the wahi, the revelation, Quran or Sunnah, and we do not have a direct, explicit text that says Adam was in the Jannah of perpetuality, the paradise of perpetuality. Adam was in the paradise that that the people will go into after they were resurrected and after they are judged on the day of judgment. And then they talk about the ahadith that were used, like hadith of Abu Huraira, أخرجتنا من جنة الخلد, the hadith of Shafa'a, the hadith of the intercession, that the people will come to Adam. And the hadith, this one in specific, the discussion between Musa and Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. You expelled us from the Jannat al-Khuld, right? He did not say you expelled us from the garden of perpetuality. It says Musa alayhi salatu wasalam said to him, you expelled us and yourself from al-Jannah, from the paradise, from the garden. It doesn't say you expelled us and yourself from the garden of perpetuality, from Jannat al-Khuld. It doesn't say that, right? And likewise, we said go down from it, اهبطوا, right? This going down, they said, because the first group, they said, Allah said that go down, both down, I will bring you down, both of you, both, all of you. Yani Adam, Eve, alayhim salam, and Shaitan also, everybody will go down. بعضكم لبعض عدو. You will be enemies to each other. So this going down, they say, it does not necessarily mean going down from the sky, the heaven, the seventh heaven, where paradise is, to the earth. It's basically talking about going down from a higher place to a lower place. So they could have been in a place that is higher on earth, and then they were brought down down to the earth. So it was a paradise or a garden in the highest part of earth, and then they were brought down to a lower place on the earth. يعني so on and so forth. They try to reply to this. And then now we go back to the 6th chapter, where في جواب من زعم أنها جنة الخلد عما احتج به منازعوهم. How those who say that it is the garden of perpetuality, that's where Adam was, how did they reply to these proofs? So he says, قالوا أما قولكم إن الله سبحانه أخبر أن جنة الخلد إنما يقع الدخول إليها يوم القيامة ولم يأتي زمن دخولها بعد، فهذا حق في الدخول المطلق الذي هو دخول استقرار ودوام، وأما الدخول العارض فيقع قبل يوم القيامة. I'm going to try to summarize again. يعني my way is to on Saturday and Sunday is to read and translate. We read and we translate everything. That is the method that we are using, and we'll continue to do that. It's just that, as I said, and I didn't find that there is a need for us to go through the intricate details of what they said and how to refute them, because يعني, there is no need for it. But it is sometimes interesting. It is sometimes interesting to see how the others would understand the proofs. And some of these, they have knowledge. They're not just laymen. And some of them are knowledgeable people who are also worthy people. They're not like people of desires or something. And people differ about understanding some things. Mm. So it is worthwhile knowing this, because some of us think, I call them the brothers who want and sisters who want the story from the end. They don't want to seek knowledge. They want the end result, the conclusion. After you all the talk, oh, okay, what is the conclusion now? They want the conclusion. But they do not realize it's okay for you to trust someone and take the conclusion from them, but then don't play the sheikh. Don't play the knowledgeable person. Don't play the top leader of religious sciences and trying to intimidate and try to refute and try to quarrel and debate and argue with others, right? Especially those who choose 5 or 6 issues and they go through the details of them, right? And then they do what the scholars call التنمر. تنمر. تنمر. Namir is a tiger, right? And تنمر is to act as one, to play a tiger when you are not, right? To play a tiger when you are not. يتنمر. يتنمر. That's how they say it. The verb in Arabic. He plays a tiger when he is not. He only knows those 2 or 3 issues. If you take him outside of these 2 or 3 issues, then يعني, the sun, the light of the sun becomes the darkness of the night. It's like you have the electricity on, and then all of a sudden it's off, right? Because he doesn't know anything other than these 2 or 3 issues that he has learned. This hadith is weak. Sheikh Fulan said about it this, and now he's like using that as a stick and hitting everyone with this piece of information that he knows. Right? So here he says that that group, they said that the garden of perpetuality, people will enter it on the day of judgment. How could Adam be in it already and then expelled from it? That Jannah, that paradise, it will be after judgment day. That's the time of entering it. The reply is yes, that is true. But this is in the absolute and complete and total entry where there is no coming out after that. دخول استقرار ودوام. It is the entry of staying perpetually, continuously staying there. As for temporal entrance, then this can happen. This can happen before the day of judgment. Example is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He entered paradise the night of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, the night journey and the ascendance. He did see paradise. He entered it. And also even the souls of the believers and the martyrs. And we mentioned the hadith before. Fil barzakh, after death from the worldly life, their bodies are in the graves, but then their souls, they do enter paradise. The shuhada and also the martyrs and also the souls of the believers. And this is definitely it's an entry, but other than the entry that will happen at the end after judgment day, right? So this is now you're saying, oh, paradise is darul muqama, darul khuld. It is the place of perpetual stay, perpetuality. Yes, it becomes the day of perpetuality, or the time of perpetuality. That's after Judgment Day. But before that, it could happen temporarily. Also, mentioning all of the other aspects about paradise, that uh, that Adam got naked in it. He was tired. He became sad. There was vain talk. The shaitan whispered to him. He lied to him. And other than that, all of that, we reply saying, we do not deny that this has happened, right? But يعني the entry where none of this will happen is the entry after the day of judgment. Again, the fact that it happened before that to Adam is not impossible. As for you saying that it is also paradise is a place for reward, there are no duties in paradise. You are not commanded do this and don't do that. And Adam alayhi salatu wasalam was given the duty of not eating from the tree, right? So they're saying since he was ordered, he was given the duty not to eat from the tree, then that's not the paradise, because paradise, you are not ordered anything in it. You just eat and drink and enjoy yourself, right? The answer is again that there will be no duties when the believers enter it after the day of judgment. That time is there are no duties anymore, no charges, no responsibilities, no commandments and prohibitions. That's after judgment day and after they enter paradise. As for being charged with duty in it before that, then there is nothing to say that it is impossible. And he mentions the hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith 7023. In Sahih al-Bukhari is a famous hadith that Rasulullah sallallahu he said that he entered paradise. He said, I entered paradise last night. فرأيت امرأة تتوضأ إلى جانب قصر. I saw a woman making wudu next to a mansion, قصر. فقلت لمن أنت? So I said, who do you belong to? It's a famous hadith, and I think we mentioned it before in those lectures that passed, these few weeks that have passed. And she answered what? She belonged to Amir al-Mu'minin, Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu. So Rasulullah SAW said he wanted to enter, but then he remembered how jealous, ذكرت غيرتك. I remembered how jealous you are, O Umar. So Umar, he was crying and he said, عليك أغار, يعني from you I should be jealous, O Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. Right? So here you have a woman making wudu there. And it is not impossible that there will be there right now in paradise those who are obedient to Allah, acting upon the orders of Allah, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before the day of judgment. Rather, that is the al-waqi', that is what is happening, that is what's actually happening. Now, in paradise, there are creation that Allah created that are worshipping Him in there, right? They are doing whatever Allah wants them to do, whether you want to call that duties or you don't want to call it duties, right? But there are people who are worshiping Allah created creation, let me put it this way. Allah created creation that are worshiping Him there, right? The second, this is one aspect now, that no duties, that's only after the believers enter it as a reward after day of judgment. Before that, there could be actions that, like what Adam was asked to do. Secondly, this duties that they were charged with, it wasn't like the duties that the people have to do here in this worldly life. Like you have to fast, you have to pray, you have to perform jihad, and the likes of that. What was the duty The only duty that was given to Adam and Eve, alayhima as-salatu was-salam, in paradise, it was just one thing, not to eat from just one tree from the trees of paradise. That's the only duty they were charged with. Either he says, إما واحدة بالعين أو بالنوع. Either just one specific tree that they cannot eat from, or a type of tree that they should not eat from it. They can eat from all the trees that are in there, all the fruits that are, except from one, either one specific one tree or one type of a tree. And by the way, we do not have the kind of a tree that Adam and Eve were prohibited from eating. Yeah, Ahlul Kitab, the people of the book, they say the apple, and that's why they say Adam's apple about, about this here. And they say when he ate a bite and it stopped here, right? And that's why you have this. This is all, yani, Allah alam, even the people of the book, they believe in that or not. But I mean, it's reported from them, and that's what they call, even in English, they call it Adam's apple, right? So this is not really like a general commandments and orders and prohibitions that are impossible. This is not the way. It's just one tree, right? And already we know that it was predestined that he will end up eating by his own choice, by his own free will. He will eat from that tree, and then he will, as a result, he will be expelled from paradise and be brought down, right? As for the issue of Adam sleeping in it and paradise, the people of paradise don't sleep, then if this is established, yani the fact that you say Adam slept in it, affirm that first. Affirm that Adam slept in it. So if it is established, then if you establish that he did sleep in it, then the negation on then the fact that the people of paradise don't sleep, this again will happen after the day of judgment, the day of perpetuality, right? But before that, يعني it could be, it could be, يعني after the people of paradise enter paradise as a reward after the day of judgment, then there will be no dying and no sleeping. But before that, it is possible. Also, the fact of Iblis whispering to Adam alayhi as-salatu was-salam, يعني again, this is not, يعني, even if you say he was expelled from it and how did he come back to it, right? يعني after he refused to bow down as a greeting to Adam, he was expelled. They say, how did he go back? Right? Again, it is not impossible that he will go back temporarily, صعودا عارضا, to complete and perfect the trial and the examination, لتمام الابتلاء والامتحان, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already predestined, and he already predestined the causes leading to it. قدره وقدر أسبابه سبحانه وتعالى. Right? So that is the case, and this does not necessarily mean that Iblis alayhi salatu wasalam, Iblis, أعوذ بالله, that Iblis عليه لعنة الله وأستغفر الله, does not mean that Iblis had that place as an abode or a place of stay when he did whisper, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said that he mentioned about the shayateen, about the satans, that they used to before be in the sky, and they used to steal some pieces of information. يسترقون السمع, right? They basically try to listen and they would take some of the information, snatch يعني those words. So they hear something that is from the revelation, and they do that. And this, they go up, actually su'ud, they go up, but then again it is su'udun arid. It is also a temporal or temporary ascendance, in a way that they are close, so they can hear the angels talking, that Allah commanded them to do this and that, and they overhear this from them, and then they come down with it. So this is possible. They go, they sneak, they listen, and they come back. They don't stay. They don't stay there. So that's that also. Um, Also, the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed Adam alayhi salatu wasalam how long he will live, right? This does not necessarily contradict the fact that he enters him in the paradise, and he will make him live in it for a period of time. So if he told him that he will live 100 years, and still he told him that he will live in paradise for some time. So there is no conflict between this and that. And the fact that Allah informed that the one who enters paradise does not die, and he is not going to be expelled from it once again, that is actually after the day of judgment. Um, as for you making the statement, and this is another thing that they mentioned. They said that the fact that they said that Adam was created from the earth, which is true. Adam was created from the earth. But where did you come up with the idea that all of the creation was completed in there, when we have in the ahadith, and this is in Sahih Muslim, that Allah Azza wa Jal shaped Adam, and he still did not put the ruh, the soul, in him. After Allah shaped him and made him without the soul, he was left for some time. Adam was left for some time in paradise. The hadith says in paradise. This is in Sahih of Al-Imam Muslim, right? Only 16 to 48-111. Right, and it's in the Musnad of Imam Ahmad 12081, 12081, right, 12,081. But the hadith in Sahih Muslim, the wording of it, that لما صور الله آدم في الجنة تركه ما شاء الله أن يتركه. When Allah formed or gave the image to Adam in paradise, he left him whatever Allah wished to leave him. فجعل إبليس يطيف به ينظر ما هو. So Iblis, he started going around him, looking, what is this? What is this creation? فلما رآه أجوف, when he saw that he was hollow from the inside, عرف أنه خلق خلقا لا يتمالك. He knew that he was created in a way, a creation in a way that it doesn't hold up, right? Weak from the inside, hollow, right? So this is once again in Sahih Muslim, right? So then that Adam was created from the earth and from the dust that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took a grip from all of the earth. This is in the Sunan Tirmidhi and others. It's an authentic narration. And this is why the people, they come in different shapes. They come in different shapes and colors like the earth. Some of them as hard as the mountain, tough. Some of them are easy as a valley. Some of them so dark in skin. Some of them red in skin. Some of them so white, just like the dust of the earth. So it is true that he is from dust and clay from the earth, but then he was shaped and formed in paradise. He was left for some time. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the soul in him. Then Allah put the soul in him. So this is the case here. Uh, so that is the case here. And then when you read in the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, when Allah taught Adam alayhi salatu wasalam all the names, then he presented them to the angels and he told them, tell me the names of these items that I presented to you. If you are truthful, then they said, all glory be to you. You are far removed from any deficiency. We have no knowledge except what you taught us. Surely you are the all knowledgeable, the all wise. And then he said, oh Adam, then tell them the names, tell them their names, the names of these items. So when he told them their names, he said to them, did I not tell you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to them, did I not tell you that I know the ghaib, the hidden matters of the heavens and the earth, and so on. Surah Al-Baqarah 31 and on. This indicates that Adam was with them in the sky, right? When he informed them of these names. Otherwise, not all of them came down to earth to hear from him this, right? And if even we say that the creation of Adam was completed on earth, this does not necessarily say that it is impossible that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take him up in the sky for whatever matter he destined and he managed and he decreed subhanahu wa ta'ala, then he will bring him back to the earth. And the same is going to happen or did happen, partially happen to Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. He came down, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised him up unto him. أصعد المسيح Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salatu wassalam to the sky. Then Allah Azza wa Jal will bring him back to earth before the day of judgment. Likewise, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was taken from Mecca to Jerusalem and then up to the seven heavens, body and soul, alayhi as-salatu was-salam. So there isn't anything that will prevent this from happening. That Adam, he could have been, yes, the dust from the earth, but then he was brought up to paradise, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does what he wants. So these are chapters 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6. I tried to summarize them once again because we don't really need to go through the details of this. And there will come next week, inshallah ta'ala, chapter 7 and 8. And I will do something similar. Chapter 7 and 8 is about those who claim that paradise is not created yet. Right? And the refutation, the reply to those claims that they have made. And then comes after that chapter number 9. That's when we are going to go back to the normal way of reading and translating. الباب التاسع في ذكر عدد أبواب الجنة. Right? Chapter 9 is going to mention the number of the doors of paradise. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to benefit all of us from what we heard and to make us from a people who listen to a statement and follow the best of it, and to make us from the people who will end up entering paradise. Otherwise, if we talk too much about paradise, and we do not work for it, and we do not end up there being from the people of paradise, then all of what we're doing is يعني والعياذ بالله in vain. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us all and to make us from those who will be from the people of paradise. اللهم إني أسألك الجنة وأعوذ بك من النار. اللهم إني أسألك الجنة وأعوذ بك من النار. اللهم إني أسألك الجنة وأعوذ بك من النار. If you say that 3 times, asking Allah for paradise, the paradise will say, "Oh Allah, make him from my people." And if you seek refuge with Allah from the fire 3 times, then the fire will say, "Oh Allah, give him refuge from me." And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do just that for us. And we'll meet tomorrow, inshallah, 8 o'clock for Umdatul Ahkam by Al Imam Al Maqdisi, inshallah ta'ala. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.